I just feel like there's constantly like a new trend somewhere that I just have to keep up with, and unless I have TikTok, I'm probably like out of the loop, and I feel like I'm getting old. I'm young. I'm young still. What is up, my beautiful human beings? It's your girl Cassidy. Welcome back to my channel. Now, I feel like makeup is just evolving every single day, and the more it evolves, the more I'm gonna try new stuff, okay? So I had seen a few people post about this new way that they're doing their makeup, their face base. I tried it out for myself, and I loved it. And just in general lately, I feel like I've been doing my makeup with a lot more cream products, much more dewy, and a little bit more on the lighter coverage side. Go figure. Today I'm just going to be bringing you guys through my new makeup techniques, how I'm kind of working my little cream products in a new way. This new makeup routine that I've been using just makes my face a lot more lifted, dewier, and just really like brings my cheekbones up rather than like sagging everything down and kind of focusing more on contouring. It's more about lifting and brightening, and I'm really excited to show you guys how I do it, so let's just jump right into it. The first thing I always do is hydrate my skin. I am using IT Cosmetics Secret Sauce Moisturizer. It has been my favorite and also a lifesaver. I have not felt a cream that hydrates my skin the way this one does. Every time I put it on, I wake up feeling like my skin is so plump and so glowy. While that moisturizer is settling in, you guys know I always love to do my eyes first. Nothing new here. And I'm really excited for this eye part of the video because I'm partnering with Deck of Scarlet for a portion on today's video. And I want to thank Deck of Scarlet so much because I am truly such a fan of this brand. I have been working with them for a while. If you guys watch my videos, you guys know that I work with them every so often. And I really love just the whole concept of the brand. Deck of Scarlet is a makeup line, but it also has a monthly subscription. So you can sign up for the monthly subscription and pay $29.95 a month, and you get different palettes every month. Palettes that would be sold at Sephora for like $50 to $60, you get one just for $29.95 a month. And there's something different for you to try out every month. Not only do you get a palette in the box, but you always get like a little surprise like bonus product. It could be like a lip gloss or an eyeliner or mascara, something like that. And it is just totally worth the money. These products are awesome. But today I am using something new that they came out with, which is really exciting. And I should add as well that you don't need to have a monthly subscription to shop the brand Deck of Scarlet. You can just shop individual products. If you find something you really love, you can just go to the website and shop their individual products as well. And this is something that I am absolutely going to be repurchasing because I think these products are so amazing. So these are their new metal leaf shadow pots, and when I swatched these shadows, I could not believe how pigmented they were. When you touch them, it feels like a cream, but then once you like swatch it or put it on your eye, it dries down to a powder finish, and the shine, the pigment on these is out of this world. So good. This shade that I'm using is called Smashed Crystal, and it's a really beautiful champagne color. A lot of them do have a very duochrome finish. I'm just gonna do a little prep on my eyelid and put some concealer just to get rid of the appearance of my little veins and discoloration, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take some of my butter bronzer, and I'm just gonna fluff that into my crease and my outer edge a little bit, just to have a little dimension. I don't want anything crazy, but you can see it's just a nice wash of brown right there. By the way, my lashes are lash extensions. I got my lashes done at Sumi Eyelash in the city. Now going in with the metal leaf shadow pot, again, shade Smashed Crystal. I'm picking up a brush that is flat and like very dense. I'm just gonna take that and then put it on the inner corner, and you can see how shiny that is. Oh my gosh, I love it. So you can use a brush, but I really like to go in with this with my finger. So I take some of that. It's nice and packed on there. And then I just press it on my lid. The finger does create some harsh lines, but it's okay because I could go and blend those out after. But like, Look at what a pretty, this is a gorgeous, like it has some peachy tones and it's just so pretty. I'm taking a little brush and just like blending out that outer edge. And you can see how nicely the pigment goes on, like it's just popping right there. That's that. And I just love how it's so shimmery and so fun, but it can still be subtle, like it can still be a nice wash of color. So if you guys want to check out Deck of Scarlet, you can click the link in my bio and sign up for their monthly subscription. I think it's really awesome. Or you can just shop individual products and I hope you love it. So moving on with the rest of my face, I've got a nice glow happening over here. Now I'm taking my favorite foundation. This is the Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation. I wear the shade 40 Nude, which is definitely my summer shade. It's a little bit more tan, but since I went to Puerto Rico, your girl got a little tan. Lately, I have just been using like the tiniest bit of foundation just to have a nice like even skin tone, but then I really bring the coverage in when I go in with concealer. So you could see like I only have a little bit of foundation and I'm going to use that to cover this whole cheek. So this is after. And keep in mind, with this foundation, a little bit does go a long way, so I don't even need that much, even if I wanted like a super full coverage look. Oh, and I'm using the e.l.f. Camo sponge to blend that out. This is my favorite sponge. I will link all the products down below so you guys can shop them a lot easier. If you see anything that you want to buy, I'll have everything in the description box, I promise. I know it's annoying to watch YouTube videos and then you see a product that you love and it's not linked. I'm definitely guilty of that. How beautiful is this coverage? It's not too heavy, it's not cakey, and it really just like melts into my skin where I'm like, what? Foundation where? Like I woke up like this. And then I go in with my concealer. This baby, on the other hand, is very full coverage, like super full coverage. This thing will not let anything out of sight through it, okay? If you have any blemishes, if you have dark under eyes, get you some Cover FX Power Play Concealer. I'm using this mainly for just like, you know, some under eye concealer, under eye brightening, but as you can see, this is a part of my new routine, okay? Very innovative. Just kidding. This is all over TikTok. I bring it down the sides of my nose a little bit just to have that coverage there. So as you can see, I only put it kind of like on my inner corner, a little bit on the sides of my nose, like down here. And then I put it on the outer edge here to kind of lift this area and give me that effect of lifted, snatched cheekbones that kind of looks like I just took my skin and went, you know? And then when I blend it out, I start with the inner part. So I just start tapping away and I tap a little bit in like an up and down motion. And then I bring some of that underneath my eye. So first I'm getting rid of, you know, the whole thing here, bringing an X2 and like keeping it in this area. And then I bring it over. It already looks very nicely blended, brightened. But then I go to the outer edge right here and I start in the middle of it to kind of drag the product around proportionately. I know it sounds a lot more complicated than it actually is, but if I kind of just started here and patting it all the way out, too much product would go out. So I start in the middle first and then I bring it in to cover that outer part of my under eye. So it's getting this nice and covered with the concealer, but then I still have a little patch that I haven't touched yet. So I just kind of drag that in, make sure my under eye is nice and even, nice and brightened. And then I take whatever is left and I kind of just drag that out into my hairline a little bit, not too far back. I don't want like a super harsh line, but whatever that product was left over there, I just drag it out. So you can see it kind of has that line right there. A little bit of that shadow that is very subtle, but it makes a big difference in the overall look because now, right here, this cheekbone looks a lot more lifted and dragged back into my hairline, which I love. Making sure that inner corner and inner under eye is nice and covered beautifully. A little bit next to my nose to help with the slimming effect. And then I start in the middle of that outer application and I drag it in drag it in. I'm using tiny, tiny little pouncing motions. And then that little tail end of product is what I use to drag it back into my hairline, which creates that beautiful snatched lifted look. So my under eyes are nice and brightened, cheeks are lifted, but I feel like overall how I usually do my makeup, it's a lot more light coverage. You can see my blemishes through my makeup. Most of the coverage is under my eye and just focused on lifting. And now I go into bronzer. This is where I bring some color back to my life. You guys already know what I'm gonna say. Fenty Cream Bronzer in the shade Honey Glaze. This is my lifeline right here, and I apply it with the Fenty Beauty 125 face brush. It's basically just like an angled blush brush, angled foundation brush. Everything about my face routine is fairly new, but I've been loving these new techniques. So starting with, you know, the contour, the color, the highlight. This is the cream bronzer that I use. I absolutely love it. It makes me glow. It keeps my skin looking hydrated. It makes me look more youthful because the more powder I've been using lately, I just feel like I look like a dry sponge, like SpongeBob in Sandy's house, and I don't want to look like that. Instead of what I used to do, I used to kind of angle the brush and really focus on this line right here. That to me now is really low on my face. So it's almost as if I'm making my face drag down with that technique. So what I've been doing now is instead of focusing on contouring the under part of my cheekbone, I kind of focus on putting it right on my cheekbone in this area. So this is not the highest point of my cheekbone, but this is just the face of my cheekbone. This is where I put it. I start right here and I kind of put it almost, I've said this before, almost as if it's my blush. I'm not necessarily putting it on the apples of my cheeks, like right here, but I'm kind of making it easier for it to eventually blend into my blush later on. So not only does this make my cheekbones look higher than as if I'm focusing on it down here, but it also helps with the blending process later on. So you can see I'm really just putting it like on the face of my cheek. I'm not focusing too much under here. I'm just like having it be a little more lifted because again, nobody wants a droopy face, you know? You want to keep things as lifted as possible for as long as possible, okay? So that is my new placement for bronzer, and then I'm going to go ahead and kind of just add it in the other normal places, you know, the perimeters of my face, under my chin a little bit, get that snatched. And I know these are like very subtle differences, so a lot of people are like, what? Like you can't even tell the difference, but it actually really does make kind of a big difference when you look at the overall picture. And makeup is small, little detailed techniques, you know? Makeup isn't always something super dramatic or super obvious. Makeup can be subtle and detailed and not as in your face. Changes. And aside from the placement of this bronzer, like, how stunning is this color? I look like I just came off of an island. I mean, I kind of did. I have been obsessed with cream blush lately. The cream blushes that I love so much are by Nude Sticks. These cream blushes are so awesome because they're super multi-use. You can use them as a cream shadow, a cream blush. You can use it on your lips as well. Like, they literally are so versatile. And if you want that overall monochromatic look, hi, here's your product. This is in the shade In the Nude, but I've looked for it almost everywhere, and I'm pretty sure In the Nude is sold out. I'm not sure if it was limited edition, but I did get this quite some time ago. What I will have linked below is the shade of the all over color stick that is the most peachy toned, because I do love a good peach blush, and this to me does have like a peach undertone. I am applying it almost where I used to apply like my highlight, And I know that's kind of weird, but you'll see when it makes sense. It'll make sense when you see it. So the brush that I'm using is by EcoTools, and it's called a Precision Foundation Brush. This is a really unique looking brush. It's tapered on one end, and then it has a wide thing, but when you turn it to the side, it's angled like this. So it's really good to like pick up product, like a spatula kind of, and then just like smack it on. I don't go too crazy because this blush is very pigmented and you don't have to dig into it, kind of like how you can do with the Fenty cream bronzer. So I just pick up a little bit and then I put the blush right here. The blush is gonna go right there, and it's almost like at the tops of my cheekbones. And yes, that does feel very different for me. I'm like, sometimes out of habit, I kind of like want to bring it back down, but I have seen such a difference in my face when I put the blush up here. It just lifts my entire face, you guys. Kind of just lightly pressing it in so I don't get any harsh lines, but you can see the color like piling up, and it's so pretty. I still like to keep it on the apples of my cheeks, but it's not on the under apples. It's gonna be like on this higher area here. As you can see, this brush kind of just made like a harsh line there. I literally just go back in with my sponge and just dab it out to kind of really melt the blush and that concealer together, so it just goes right away. I'm gonna quickly lower my lights, lower the brightness of my lights, so you guys can hopefully see a little bit more of how it would look in person. Oh wow, that's so different. But yeah, this is, you can see it just shows a lot more without the brightness of the lights, and this is just how it looks. It just, like, to me it looks so pretty. I hope it's coming off like that on camera. Same thing on the other side. Keeping that blush nice and high. I am taking Bare Minerals highlighter in the shade Free. I love this thing. I've been using it for so long. With this new technique, you guys, you would think that like the blush already took the space of the highlighter, but what I love about this is how the blush and the highlighter melts together, because I'm almost putting the highlighter on top of where I put my blush. This is an EcoTools controlled setting brush. I'm just brushing it on the tops of my cheekbones, which is kind of the area that I put my blush in. And I'm using little dabbing motions, kind of like little brush strokes, like dusting it. I'm literally dusting it on because I don't want to move the cream product underneath it. So since this is a powder, you're working with two different textures here. So the cream blush is gonna grab onto whatever part powder is put on top of it. So I like to dust it on. That way it picks up the powder product evenly, rather than if I like swiped it on hard, it would just be like a harsh line of highlight that the blush really just like adhered to. I have not set anything with powder aside from the powder highlight that I just used. For me, I need to set my under eyes. My under eyes crease, the makeup comes off easier. I need to set. So that is exactly what I'm gonna do. I like to go and dab out the creases. Just make sure it's nice and even under there. I am using Laura Mercier's classic translucent powder. Pick some up, dab it off, and I literally just place that on my under eyes and a little bit on the side of my nose. So you can see immediately it's mattified. Which I don't mind because I don't want my face to be too shiny. Like I already have cream bronzer, cream blush, and a highlight. So if my under eyes are matte, I'm okay with that, okay? I'm alright. I'm alright with it, baby. If there is any extra powder that I don't really want on there, I just take my multitasking big fluffy brush from EcoTools and I kind of lightly brush at it and use that to kind of like set everything else in place. Now I'm gonna go into brows. This is crazy for me because I think this wasn't even on purpose the way I do my brows now. I feel like I've just been getting lazy with my brows and we've resulted in this. You guys know I use this product a lot, but now this is the only product that I use. The label is completely like scratched off because I've had it for so long, but this is the Glossier Boy Brow in the shade Brown and it is absolutely amazing. I love this product so much. I'm running out. I actually am gonna need a new one. But you guys, this is literally all I've been using using on my brows, which is crazy. It's a tiny little wand that is just so cute and perfect for brushing my brows. I start brushing up at the front of my brows, and then I work my way through the tail end. And then when I get to the tail end, I take the tip of the brush, because that's where usually the most product is, and I kind of just wipe the product on the end to really elongate the tail of my brows, because usually the tail of my brows is the ones that are most like sparse. Like I don't have super full brows, but the tail end needs some like extension there. And then I also run the tip through the front of the brow to get a little bit of tint on that lower part. And then I brush through the rest of them. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that this is going to give you the most snatched brow ever. You're not going to have carved out perfect brows with this, but let me tell you, I've been enjoying like the more natural brow look, and just I've been enjoying not having to like draw my brows on and just like brushing it through, doing little angling wherever I need to, and like not worrying about them being perfect. I've just been loving that, and they still come out really cute. Like in all of my pictures recently, this is all I've been doing, and they still look really good. I'm gonna finish my lips just because I feel like you guys always ask what lip combo I'm wearing, but the one that I have, this is the Kylie Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Can't Be Tamed. It's like a really pretty like nude, like rosy nude in a way. And then I go in with my Wander Beauty lip oil in the shade Skinny Dip. This is the Lip Retreat oil, and I love it. It's like a lightweight lip gloss that hydrates your lips. It's so yummy. Oh my gosh. And that's that. So that's it, you guys. I'm so happy I was able to share my new techniques with you, new favorite products that I've been loving. Thank you so much to Deck of Scarlet for partnering with me on a portion of today's video. Thank you guys always for the support. Even when I don't post as consistently, you guys still support me, and I appreciate that more than you will ever know, because this is just what I love to do, doing my makeup, sharing products with you guys. I absolutely love it, and I'm really, really thankful that I have people that watch and people that like it. So yeah, I just want to give a huge thank you. I hope you enjoyed it so much. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because you know how much it means to me from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!